Hello everybody, welcome to the second lecture in the series of the Jaina tradition, learning the Jaina philosophy. Today we are going to talk about the topic of Tirthankaras. We always want to know, whatever tradition we are following, who has talked about it, who is the establisher, who is the propounder, why do we believe in him, who, him or her. Okay, so what is so important about the tradition what we follow? Who is that? So in the Jaina tradition, the soul whom we follow, or the person, the individual whom the Jains follow, is known as the Tirthankara. What do you mean by Tirthankara? The Tirthankara is one who establishes the Tirtha. What do we mean by Tirtha? At one level we understand Tirtha means a place of pilgrimage. But the important thing is, Tirtha means it is the fourfold Jain community. Tirtha, when the Tirthankara, when this soul, the Tirthankara, attains omniscience and he shares his experience to the people about the goal of life, suffering, violence, what is the reality. When he shares this after attaining the omniscience, few people would become ascetics, male and female. Asceticism means complete renunciation of your worldly life. And so you are only on the path of liberation. And those who cannot undertake asceticism, they could become the lay followers, male and the female. Meaning, those Shraman and Shramanis or Sadhu Sadhvis, their vows are complete. They have to follow everything to the maximum. Ahimsa maximum, truth maximum, celibacy complete. But in the worldly life, you follow all of this but with limitation, because you are having family, you have business, you have other worldly affairs, but you take the limitations. Like those who enroll in the course, it is like taking the vows means enrolling in a course. So this is the fourfold Jain community is known as the Tirtha. So the Tirthankara established this fourfold community that is known as the Tirtha. Now, how does one become a Tirthankara, and what is the speciality of Tirthankara? Now, Jainism believes that every cycle of time there are two half cycles. One is the ascending, one is the descending. So in every half cycle, there are 24 Tirthankaras who are born one after the other. So in this current half cycle, which is the descending, meaning the things changed from best, now changing to worst. Meaning first there were good times, the best times, now there are then better, then good, then bad, worse and worst. About this we will talk in our another topic, cycle of time. So these Tirthankaras are born in a particular time span, that is always they are born in the third and the fourth times of every ascending and descending times. So in this current era, the first Tirthankara who was born was known as Rishabdev or Adinath, and thereafter, one after the other, there are 23 Tirthankaras, and in the fourth era, you have the last Tirthankara of the current era. His name is Mahavira Swami. So like that, every half cycle, there are 24 Tirthankaras. So just to give you a brief, Rishabdev was, all are human beings, of course, born in a Kshatriya family, have three types of knowledge during birth, meaning of course sensual knowledge, the knowledge of the words, and also partial knowledge of the soul. But when they renounce, they get the fourth type of knowledge, that is called clairvoyance. or you can say reading another's thoughts, that is telepathy. And over a period of time they attain Keval Jnana, what is called omniscience. So when they attain omniscience, they come back to the in the worldly atmosphere, okay, not the worldly life but worldly atmosphere, and teach this, share their experiences to the people. So in any of their previous births, they must have done, out of the 20 austerities, they must have done any of those few austerities, and therefore attract the Tirthankara Nama Karma. What do you mean by Tirthankara Nama Karma? Jainism talks about 8 karmas. In another of the lecture, we'll talk about the karma theory in detail. But for now, understand 4 karmas cover your soul. That is why we have limited knowledge, limited intuition, limited energy, and we have limited pleasure and limited pain also. So, and the other 4 karmas are body making karma, the the gotra in which you are born, high family or low family, morally high family or low family, then your lifespan karma, and then the karma which brings the hurdles in your life. So the Tirthankara Nama Karma is part of a Nama Karma by which you get your body structure, bone structure, whether you are beautiful or in the worldly standards, whether you are ugly, beautiful, tall, short, handicapped. So this is because of the Nama Karma. So because of some kind of hard austerities, difficult austerities, if these souls have performed in one of the previous births, that Pudgal particle, they attract to the soul, and therefore they become Tirthankaras in any of their future birth. Now once you attain that Tirthankara Nama Karma, now what happens in the birth when you are supposed to become Tirthankara? Of course, you are born with the 3 types of knowledge, and then what happens? You renounce the world. There is an inner calling. There is an inner calling, and in that inner calling, what happens? They renounce. Okay, the individual renounces the world and attains and renounces the world, goes into it, and they move solitary, forest, caves, and rarely they come in the worldly atmosphere, except for few times when they may require food, but they bear all the hardships and attain that highest level. What is that? What is called Sarvagnata or omniscience. Now you and I also have that power to attain omniscience, so that from that point of view, my soul and Tirthankara soul, or your soul, or any living being soul, and the soul of the Tirthankara is same, because in a liberated state everybody is same. Every soul has the potential to become or to have infinite energy, infinite bliss, infinite knowledge, infinite intuition. Every soul has the power. So from that point of view, the Tirthankara soul and all souls of all other human beings or living beings is similar, same. Maybe it 1 sense bacteria or earth, air, fire, water, they are also 1 sense soul. 2 sense souls like mosquitoes, and 3 sense souls like snake, 4 sense souls like higher animals, 5 sense souls like lions and tigers, and 5 senses plus mind is human beings. So all have the power and potential to actualize like the Tirthankaras. So this is a Tirthankara who shows the path, treads the path, shows the path, and those who want to follow, they become either ascetics or the lay followers, meaning accept the vows of what the Tirthankaras had laid down. So like that, in Jainism, as I said, there are 24 Tirthankaras in each half cycle. Now another important point is we can understand that we all may become Tirthankaras. There is a possibility, all meaning anybody, any soul can become a Tirthankara because of the power if you do any kind of those austerities in future, maybe in many of the births, you may become the Tirthankara. You may also, anybody of us, attain, but there are only 24 in each half cycle. Now, also, the Tirthankaras are come one after the other. No Tirthankara meets the other Tirthankara. Like in the current half cycle, if you see, Mahavir Swami was born 2600 years ago. 250 years ago, before Mahavir Swami, was Parshvanath. Okay, 1000 years before Parshvanath was Neminath. Many thousands years ago, then you had Naminath. Like that you have. So no Tirthankara meets another Tirthankara. But Sarvagnas, those who have omniscience, meet each other. Like when the Tirthankaras were there, many people who have attained omniscience would meet each other. But no Tirthankara meets another Tirthankara. Also, now Tirthankara has immediate apostles. They are known as the Gandharas. And any other ordinary Sarvagna who don't have the followers, they don't have Gandharas or followers. Tirthankara does have. They become the followers. So whatever Tirthankara preaches, Gandharas they formalize it. Okay. So Tirthankaras are Arthakaras. Okay, they explain the meaning, they share their experiences, and Gandharas make it in their teachings into an aphoristic style or formalize it and pass on to their disciples. So currently whatever knowledge we have in the Jain tradition, it is said, it is believed that Mahavir Swami, the 24th Tirthankara, had these Gandharas, and out of them one was Sudharma Swami. So Sudharma Swami passed on the knowledge to his disciples, and whatever he has given that knowledge is there with the Jaina community, in the Jain tradition, in the Jain religion. Now, another important thing is Tirthankaras possess 34 special attributes and 34 special vocal attributes, meaning their speech will be very sweet as honey. Whatever they speak is understood by every living being. You know, it is very interesting that whenever after omniscience, when they give their first discourse, okay, first the Deshana or discourse, everybody comes to listen. All kinds of living beings come. So whatever they speak, each living being understands that. Okay, understand. Maybe because it's a vibrations reach. Like how can a mother and the child understand each other? It is like that. So Tirthankaras have that special attributes, physical attributes, vocal attributes. Say for example, wherever they move, there is no disease, there is sweet fragrance. Wherever they walk, there are no thorns. The flowers turn, they bloom. These kinds of things happen when the Tirthankaras move around. Now, another important thing is, Tirthankaras have 5 important auspicious events in their life, and they are celebrated, of course. What are those? That when they are born, Chavana Kalyanak, then when they Chavan Kalyanak is when they are conceived, okay, from the heaven, when their soul descends into the womb of their mother, Chavan Kalyanak. Second, Janma Kalyanak, when they are born. Third, when they renounce the worldly life and take the path of asceticism. Fourth, when they attain omniscience, okay, Kevalin Kalyanak. And fifth, when they finally their soul and body separates. We may call it death, but it is a Nirvana Kalyanak or Moksha Kalyanak. So, in Jaina tradition, these 5 auspicious events, these are the auspicious events in the life of Tirthankara, which are regarded as very, very auspicious, which is in a way, one can say, Mahavir Swamis are celebrated because he is the current, his Sangha is prevailing currently. So, other Tirthankaras also people do follow, meaning they may do different kinds of austerities on those days. And not only that, Wherever these kalyanakas or auspicious events have taken place, those are the places of pilgrimages. So people visit those places of pilgrimages where these 5 events of the life of Tirthankaras have taken place. Now another important thing is, now I'll just tell you, what is the life of a Tirthankara. I may just tell you 1 or 2 short stories, okay, so that you may understand. Now Mahavir Swami, talking about Mahavir Swami, the 24th Tirthankara, born in Kshatriya Kunda, which is in Lachwad in Bihar. Now when he was born, it is said that everywhere there was the empire, I mean his territory was flourishing. His father was a king, okay, he was a king, and his territory started flourishing. Therefore the parents named him Vardhamana. Okay, Vardhamana means it is flourishing, prospering. Thereafter, right from his birth, he was a very serious child. But yes, one tradition believes he was married, another Digambar tradition believes he was not married. Nevertheless, his parents died when he was approximately 28. Yes, and he wanted to renounce the world, but his brother suggested to wait for maybe few more months or few more years and then attain renunciation, because parents had just died. He waited for another 2 years, and finally at the age of 30, he renounced the world. For 12 and a half years, he led a life of solitariness, meditating and realizing the reality of life. In that, there were many incidents happen in his life. To mention a few. Once, he was meditating under a tree, in half eyes open and half eyes closed, posture in a Karyasak position. A cowherd passes and he requests him to take care of the cow, because one of the cow was missing, so he wanted to find where the cow is. He left and he went. When he comes back, he sees no cows are there. He gets angry because he had requested Mahavir to look after the cows while he wanted to search that one missing cow. But since he did not listen, and he was very angry that all the other cows also went away, he took 2 big nails and pierced in the 2 ears of Mahavir Swami. This Mahavir Swami did not utter any grudging sound, painful sound. Probably he did not hear because he was meditating. But nevertheless, the story, his life incident and the story goes that one of the previous birth, when Mahavir Swami was a king, and this shepherd or cowherd was given a punishment, that hot glass was poured in the ears of this cowherd in one of the previous births. So in this birth, he had to, it is, of course, there is a nimitta, there is an instrumental cause, that now this person is, it is not that he is deliberately doing it, but the karmas has to, the fruits of the action, anybody has to bear it. So Mahavir Swami bore this with full patience and equanimity. This is one incident. Then there is a second incident in the life of Lord Mahavira. Once he was passing through a village, had to go through the next village, had to pass through a forest. It was almost maybe late late evening and just about to become in the night. So the villagers told him that there is this poisonous cobra. He's there, and anybody goes, he just bites. A drop of that blood or his poison is going to kill you. But he had to reach, for some reason he had to reach the next village before the dark. He goes quietly, he just goes, and he sees that cobra, and the cobra bites him, just bites on the toe of the leg, and it is said that there is a white color fluid coming out of the body, which people say, yes, there is a milk coming out of the body. And Mahavir Swami says, Buzza Chanda Kaushika, Buzza Chanda Kaushika, Buzza Chanda Kaushika, be calm Chanda Kaushika. Now the name of the snake is Chandakaushika. Again, it is of the previous birth when Chandakaushika's anger, it was that anger grew so much that in this birth he becomes snake. On one hand you have the peak of anger, and on the other hand you have Mahavir Swami's Vatsalya Bhava, compassionate nature, natural flowing compassionate nature. This is what the Tirthankaras are. When does the milk flow? It flows from a mother's breast when she gives birth to a child. It is that innocent love. So this is the innocent compassionate love to all the living beings whom the Tirthankaras share. They don't have any prejudices, any biases against anybody. So this incident suggests that yes, so after this, Chandakaushik, the snake, the cobra, just becomes steadfast, and he stays there in that position. Just he stays there in that position, and Mahavir Swami goes. He stays there in the position, just becomes calm and quiet. Next day villagers see, they start hitting stone at him, red and come, all sorts of things happen to him. He forbears all of it. Ultimately, with a calm, quiet mind, he dies after a few days, and it is said that he attains a good birth, meaning a birth in a Devaloka, in heaven. And then Mahavir Swami goes. So these are the two incidents from the life of Tirthankara, a peak of anger and a peak of compassionate nature. Like that, in the life of Parshvanath Swami, that is the 23rd Tirthankara, we have one incident. That Parshvanath Swami, when he was meditating, there was one evil, evil devata who wanted to take revenge. So he wanted to deviate Parshvanath Swami from meditation. He started throwing, thunder, storm, all sorts of things. But there is a good souls, good devatas. They are known as Dharmendra and Padmavati, who come and have a protection shield around him. So the snake hood comes around Parshvanath Swami, and he is meditating. He does not retaliate, he meditates. So what is the story? In one of the previous birth, Parshvanath, of course he was an ordinary human being, he was passing, and there was a log, a wood, a small piece of wood. In that wood there were these couple snakes, and this evil god who was trying to punish Parshvanath, he was burning that wood for some ritual. And this Parshvanath, in that birth, he could sense that there is two snakes, two living beings there. He immediately takes the logs, opens it, and he releases the two snakes. This angered that person because the ritual was stopped. There was hurdle, and these two snakes become god and goddesses, Dharmendra Padmavati. And in this birth, when that Kamat who harasses Parshvanath brings about all these kinds of hurdles in his meditation, this in this birth, that snake couple become Dharmendra Padmavati, and they spread that hood around him, so Parshvanath Swami can do his meditations. So this is how you find few incidences from the life of Tirthankara, who one thing we understand, one has to act and not react. You act at appropriate time, you don't react. Like Mahavir Swami did not react, but he calmed the snake. Similarly, Parshvanath did not react to Kamat's hurdles, but he was steadfast in his meditation. When you act, you are controlling yourself. When you react, you are in the control of your passions. This is what we learn from the life of the Tirthankara. No matter whatever the situation is, one can control it. This is what they teach, and they don't have any kind of bias or judgmental viewpoints. So they are free from any kind of such limited mindset, and therefore you attain this highest peak of omniscience, sarvagnata, keval gnan, and therefore people believe you because you don't have any selfish motive and desires. Now also, there are a few important things I would just like to mention, that there are Tirthankaras attain, of course, they have a very special kind of luminous body. Each Tirthankara also has a special peculiar colors. Apart from having a luminous body, they have special color. So the color of Padma Prabhu and Vasupujya is red. Then the color of Chandra Prabhu and Subidhinath is white. Muni Subrat and Neminath is black. Mallinath and Pashwanath is blue. And all the other rest Tirthankaras, the color is yellow golden. This is a body karma. So this I'm talking about is the present half cycle, the colors of the bodies of the Tirthankara apart from the luminous body. Not only that, just let me just share the important places where people go for pilgrimage. Of course, the Adinath, the first Tirthankara, attained omniscience at he resides at, it is said, at Ashtapada, which is not, we can't see, we cannot go over there. Then Vasupujya is Champapuri. Neminath is Girnar in Gujarat. We all know he attained Kevalin. These people all have attained moksha in these places what I am mentioning. Then Mahaveswami is Pavapuri, and the 4 places, all other Tirthankaras, 20 Tirthankaras who have attained Nirvana is Shamet Shikhar in of course previously Bihar, in Shamet Shikhar, the place which is known as Pashwanath Hills in the Madhubani district, Shamet Shikhar. So these are the auspicious places where they have, meaning you imagine that the body and the soul separate. So that power, the Pudgalas are over there. They are charged Pudgalas. And if you go to those places, you understand, you meditate, you can recharge yourself with the energy of those Tirthankaras. So this is how we understand from the life of who are the Tirthankaras and the life of Tirthankaras. Now I had mentioned about the controversy in the life of Tirthankaras. What are these controversies? A few more to add, that Shvetambara and the Digambaras talk about they have few differences. Okay, so we won't know the fact because from the Shvetambara tradition we know about Shvetambara, and from the Digambar tradition we know about the way Digambars look at it. But what is the fact? We don't know, but we have the belief. Okay, now what is it? That Mallinath was a male according to Digambar tradition, whereas according to Shvetambar tradition, Malli was a female, because Digambars believe in the female body one cannot attain liberation. Mahaveswami's womb was transferred from Devananda, a Brahmin lady, to Kshatriya lady Trishla. This is what the Shvetambars believe. Digambars deny this. They say that no such incidents has taken place. Then Mahaveswami was married according to the Shvetambar tradition, but Digambars deny that Tirthankaras never marry. And another important thing is that after attaining Keval Gnana, the Kevalis do not take food believed by the Digambaras, but Shvetambars say human body is still there, maybe very limited way, but they do take intake of food is there. But Digambar says the food intake automatically happens to the body. This is a Rom Ahar. You know, the atmosphere gives them the food, provides them the nourishment. But the Digambars say, the Shvetambars say they eat the actual food. And according to the Shvetambar tradition, a mother of the Tirthankara has 14 dreams when the Tirthankara is about to be born, and the Digambaras say they have 16 dreams. So these are the few differences of opinion in the Shvetambara and the Digambar tradition. So friends, not only that, each Tirthankara has their own special lanchana, okay, or you can say the signs, okay, signs like by which they are identified. So if you go in any temples, you know that each Tirthankara has an auspicious sign at the pedestal. So like Rishabdev you have bull, then Ajitnath you have elephant, then you have like say Mahaveswami you have lion, then Pashwanath you have a snake, then Neminath you have conch shell, and say like Muni Subrat Swami you have tortoise. So like that all the 24 Tirthankaras have their own auspicious, that mark associated always with some kind of animals, so because of the, maybe because of their special quality associated with them. So friends, this was a brief introduction to the life of the Tirthankaras. So we always understand that yes, their life histories in detail you can get through in Himchandra's Trishashti Shalakha Purushas, and in the Digambar tradition you can go to Chaupana Mahapurushcharyam, and also in the Kalpa Sutra we do have in detail the life of 4 Tirthankaras, that is Rishabhdev, Neminath, Parshvanath, Mahavishwami, and about the others you have brief details. Whenever you get time, do read through their life, inspiring enough to inspire us to attain that state. So I thank you for listening to today's class, and we meet for the third lecture will be on the Jain Agamas.